Hello, everyone. It's the Sky Priestess, and welcome to Hello Neighbor 25. So, I was tuning into things and I finally got the signal. Okay, talk to the peeps, check out how everyone's doing, so on and so forth. It's been quite an interesting week. There have been lots of different energies coming through, lots of intense psychic clearings and facilitations, not necessarily with the general public, but a lot of my work tends to happen just doing collective stuff on my own. But yeah, so that's what I have been doing the past couple of days. Lots of stuff in the realm of dreams. Lots of stuff having to do with old karma that's about time to bloody leave this planet alone. So that's what I've been up to. And listening to the Star Wars disco. For those of you who need a little bit of a cheer up, type in Miko, MECO, Star Wars disco, and you shall be pleasantly surprised. So that's what I have been up to. I've also been playing a game that I really like because I am a nerd and a gamer, and according to my brother, I am also a doc. Given the fact that he's known me the most and longest, that is probably true. Um, I've also been just de-stressing with Heroes of Might and Magic 4. And for those of you who don't know anything about it, stuff like D&D, stuff like computer games tend to work through very deep spiritual lessons and so on and so forth for people who know how to look. In this particular game, it's a little bit more obvious. So just what I've been up to the past week. So that's me. Let's turn to all of you because this is Neighbor 25. I'll be putting the title of the video once I've realized what we're actually talking about today. Or it might just be a general hangout. You never know with a Hello Neighbor. So let's get into seeing who's online. Hello, 305 Capricorn. Hello, Margaret. Hello, Carolee. Hello, Crone. Hello, Day. Hello, S. Claude. Hello, Tree Essence. Hello, Celine. Hello, Roses and B. Hello, C. Davis. Hi, Batwoman. Hello, Cat. Hi, Pamela. Hi, Tira. Hi, Jolene. Hi, Angel. Lovely to see all of you. I Am Goddess says, Peace, Sky Priestess. My friend and I have been asking about you, been having vivid dreams, and was wondering how much longer. I would say is on that. Couple of more days of that. We have the sun in Sagittarius squaring Neptune coming up. There's still going to be more activations in the dream world happening, and what we choose there, the way we respond and react to those dreams, has a much deeper influence on the collective ideology that shapes not only our personal experiences but the collective experience. So there's a few more days of this. Honestly, it's almost like as this huge transition and shift of energy with Jupiter and Saturn preparing to enter Aquarius door. It's almost like the influence of the psychic world and the dream world and those liminal states is almost like a weird kind of interface to that big shift from Capricorn to Aquarius. We need to let go a lot of the past so that we can actually fully embrace what is to come. Let's see. Willow Rush says hello, Shanshu. Insomniac, hello from London. Hello, Carolina. Hello, Emily. Hello, Ernest. Hello, Aro. Greetings from Texas. Greetings from Malaysia to you. Hello, Queenie, NYC Kitty Major Abba. Monica wants to know, and hello. Is this a bad time to tell someone you have a crush on them, lol? If you think it's old karma and shiny bottles, probably. Athena says hello, hi. Aro says physically the stars are amazing tonight. Good to hear, good to hear. Felicia waves. Capula says hello. Luna says hello from Lex and I. How is your doggy doing? Let me know what the doggy is. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Tasuri says, hi, had a vivid dream where you applied acupressure to the back of my neck like laying hands at a church and I passed out. The funny thing is I could probably see myself doing that given the right context. Hopefully it was a good one. Hello, Renate. Big Homie L says, was about to go to sleep. They said, no, listen to Baba Lol. How are you doing? I hope you are well. Um, Luna said, wait. We might have a special guest. Hang on. Let's see. Aha. Oi, yes, we do. Success. Hang on. Oh, let me move this table a bit. Sorry for the noise. We have a special guest. Just never say hello to me during Hello Neighbor. And I said, I always say hello to you. Look who decided to show up. Hi. Hello, baby. How are you, baby? She literally said that before we started. She wanted me to say hello. Are you okay? Yeah? Feeling good? Okay. So, there's our special guest for today. Luna says her puppy is using his wounded leg. That's very good. Sheena says, hi, all you awesome people. Middle of kids' bedtime, but wanted to pop in and send my love. I'll recatch later. Good to hear. Nice to see you. Kara says, howdy from the tropics in Australia. Hello. Suseli says, hello, Sky Priestess. So good to see you. Good to see you too. Suseli's been someone I've known for a long time. Ranati says, hi to Kitty. This is Dr. B. Brandon Lewis says, Sky Priestess, I'm so glad to see you. I feel like I'm with my soul tribe family when I'm on here live. Oh. Okay. Capilla says, cats are the only animal not from these dimensions. They are stargates. Are you sure? I think there's a few animals that literally have a very strong connection to the celestial world. But maybe you mean something very specific. As far as I'm aware, there are many animal beings that do carry different types of consciousness. Cats usually tend to be associated with that. Dogs have a different type of consciousness. Birds have a different type of consciousness. But they're all lovely. So Fana Fraser says, hi, Dr. B. Hello. Megan says, sending love. Thank you. Well, the thing is, Capulus, when I say something, it's not because someone else has told me to think that way. I basically work directly with energy. And when I say that other animals are more than capable of being vessels to higher dimensional frequencies, it's not a theory. It is what it is. So Celine says, can you suggest an app or software or just a general recommendation of how to figure out how current astrology is affecting my personal chart? I would say, given how complex and how intertwined the energetic field is right now, the most important thing that you need to look at is, where's your Capricorn and where's your Pisces? Look at how these energies express themselves in whichever house they do, and in your chart, and that is how you will ultimately see what is the most important influence at this time. So don't overcomplicate it, and just stick to those three things. Where's Cap? Where's Aquarius? Where's Pisces? Which house is it in? And understand what it's doing for you. Because if you go into more than that, you're going to have to learn how to weigh each influence and whether or not. Okay, now I'm beginning to get a void. Capulus, are you here to actually listen to what I'm saying? Or are you here to go and pitch someone else's YouTube channel? Because I don't do that here. You're welcome to stay. Because I keep seeing whatever you're commenting, and that's not helping me sit with the flow right now. So either. Now, Monica says, is it a bad time to look for jobs, or is that, Capitalist, I don't care if you think it's important or not. It's very disrespectful to do this, and I want people in my space who can understand that. If you keep interrupting a speaker with what you think is important, that means you're not here to listen. It's that simple. Spirit told me someone was going to try to do this to me today, right before I started, and I was like, okay. I'll try and see if I can just go flow with it, but it may also be very important to publicly say no to that behavior. So this is important, and this is part of why the work is real here. When you try to interrupt the flow of someone who is delivering to you wisdom, you are saying two things. I do not care about your connection with spirit, and I want your platform. And these two things will not fly in this space. So let that be a lesson. Now, Monica is saying, is this a bad time to look for jobs, or is that depending on my chart? It really does depend on your chart, sweetie. Some people, things are going to flow very easily. I can give you a pro tip. I would say if you definitely have anything, if your Cap and Aquarius is in either houses, the 10th house, the second house, the 6th house, the 8th house, this is the kind of time where you're more likely to find jobs where you will actually do something that you feel is deeply meaningful, you know? So this is honestly the kind of energy where I would say it's baby agrees, it's important to know which houses they are in. So just focus on that, and remember, the most important thing is what will emerge for you. Don't try to play it too small, and don't try to aim too big. Just look at what it is that your soul really needs right now to grow and to make a decent contribution to society. So that's where I would say, put your focus and consciousness there. Don't worry about the here and now. Did you get it? Did you not get it? If you didn't get it, that means it's not where you're meant to be. This is not a time where things are going to make a mistake and accidentally kick you out of where you're supposed to be. No, this is a time where you are going to be precisely at the space that is the best for you. So the anxiety is just a human response to the, if you want to call it the divine, if you want to call it the universe, call it what you want, to the divine actually allowing its plan to be revealed and to be seen. Okay? So it's, it's very interesting because when that person was speaking just now, or typing just now, I could actually feel a very strong false light energy try to come in, which is why I know a lot of you goes, just ignore them. But no, it's very important to say or try you in the wrong direction. Because the more we ignore things, the more we sweep it under the carpet, and the more it actually grows under the carpet. Never ignore that kind of a challenge. State your business, draw your line, shut your door, and move on. This is the kind of clarity that we are being asked to bring at this time. And this is not going to end. Whatever you've been working towards in 2020, it's going to consolidate in this time. Everything you've been working towards, not just 2020, but several years, everything that you are working towards, it's coming together, it's coalescing. So that's hopefully answers your question, and a couple of other questions that a couple of others whom I'm sure would have the same questions. Michelle says, "Hi, Dr. B. Thank you. Your hair is so fast." It does. It does. It actually does. Which is good. Which is good. I have started putting some ginger in it, just to keep it growing healthy. So, fingers crossed. B. Women says, "Hello. So glad I made it. Wonderful." Fatma says, "Thank you. That applies to me as well." Good. George says, "I agree. Do not ignore that type of behavior." Which one? Black Shin Pack says, "Definitely feeling the consolidation." Athena Polly says, "My family life this weekend has been crazy. Lots of deep issues coming to the surface." I believe you. I believe you. Athena says, Marisol says, "Making ginger tea now." Nice. Truth is Alchemy says, "Allow people to dislike you." Honey, that is, I haven't done that since day one. But it's very strange. Sometimes I see it because I told you I got Saturn on the Great Attractor, right? People are weird with me. Sometimes someone who's followed me for years will suddenly leave without so much as a goodbye or thank you or something. Or someone that I have absolutely no knowledge about will suddenly want to come into my space like this and just latch on to me. And in both cases, I've just kind of gone, whatever, man. I am here because I'm here. How you respond to me, how you react to me, that's on you. I'm just doing what I can do with the clarity and the integrity that I have. And that's honestly as much that you can say and that you can do right now. Sky Blue says, "Hi, Dr. B, big hug. Thank you so much. I have to look at your music recommendations. I will, I will." Anthony Gumbel says, "Hi." Tamika says, "Hi, Dr. B. I love listening in your chats. Good to hear." S. Claude says, "I seem to be reliving everything that I made a bad choice with. New insights, but it's painful doing it again. I have full empathy." There's been a little bit of a cycling of old themes this past week, and I've just kind of been like, yeah, I kind of already did this. Let's do, like, my decision is quite clear. Thank you. Let me tell you something really freaky that happened. So I told you I've been decompressing with this game that I used to like to play in about 2002, 2003, somewhere like that. Heroes of Might and Magic. So the character is pretty cool. And I like that character. There's a lot of campaigns, but there's one that I focus on. And I don't want to talk about it because I know my brother is probably able to listen to what I'm saying, and I don't want to spoil the story for him. But the take-home message is, even though I did everything right, it was so weird. It was like the game did not want to recognize that I had completed every objective. And so I had to replay entire levels 3 times. And especially even the final battle, I did everything right. And the game just did not want to recognize that I was done. So, it was one time, game a glitch. Twice, thrice. And I'm like, it's not cool. Have already done the work. You don't need to do it, get me to do it again. I'll still do it again, but I'm already done here. It's crystal clear. And I'd actually seen that same pattern trying to come back in, the energies that are either trying to hook or trying to push or trying to displace me in some way or another. Because, to be honest, anyone who is in the public eye, anybody in the public eye is under some kind of pressure or some kind of attack right now, especially if they do not allow or align with false frequencies and false energies. So that's when, there's a lot of this. Are you sure you don't want to do it this way? Nope. Are you sure we can give you things? Nope. Pretty please? Nope. So I've just been having to maintain that very, very strong stance. And I'm sure that's going to continue. So let's see who else is here. Hang on. Tiraf, how long is the energy supposed to last? Honestly, I am not sure how long this particular wave will be, because remember, we are kind of in the build-up to the solar eclipse in Sagittarius, 23 degrees Sag, if I'm not mistaken. So we're already in that build-up to, us telling the universe, telling the cosmos, this is the path we're heading on. This is the frequency and level of consciousness and approach that we will take on this path. And so we've got to, no matter, it's like you are, what happened?
We decided to try and jump up the very flimsy cabinet.
You
almost came down on that.
My cat tried to jump up on a very flimsy cabinet because she's trying to find ascension. Too soon, you gotta last for a long time. So, but as I was saying, this is the time. This is the time where we have to be very, very, very clear as to the road we are taking. And don't go on no false pedestals like my cat jumping on a flimsy cabinet for it to nearly fall down. She's teaching you. She teaches all of us. That's what she is. So, yes, I agree. Allow people to dislike you is a very mug-worthy statement. Nice job, Truth is Alchemy. Samantha W says, "Hi, Dr. B. The cats and I send our love. I believe this is the owner of Kleb, if I'm not mistaken. They're curled up in front of the TV listening to you and Kitty. Lovely, lovely, lovely." Big Homie Al says, "Baba, I have been investigating the false light concept. And wow, thank you for the guidance." This is a facilitator from South Africa. And what? Okay. So now my brother's just giving me some notes about my kitty cat. She's really feeling the vibe and she's getting very in tune with things. And this is the thing about the girls. The moment the vibe gets very high, they go. But as I was saying, Big Homie is a friend from South Africa, a facilitator I've known for several years. And I'm glad to see that he's part of the gang. So Stray Panther says, peace, heart, lightning. Peace, love, and power to you, Dr. B. Thank you very much. V Stompelt, which says, oh, everyone's doing the cycling thing. Okay, yes, you are not alone. You are not alone. Fatma says the dreamscape has been so much the past 1 to 2 weeks, and then there's so much nonsensical and then symbolic things going on. Agreed. Daybray says, all of my Capricorn isn't the people I love. Oh, that's why you like me. S. Claude says, yes. I Am Energy says, sending you love and light, loving my tier 23. Good. Cosmos Creation says, I did love your eagle medicine, beautiful priestess. I am very happy to hear it. There's a video of an eagle that came to say hello to me, I think last year. Just look for it on my channel. Jessie says, hi, Dr. Bhairavi, sending love, and to you. Aro says, you should play Nintendo. I think I did as a kid. Lumi says, hi, Dr. B, hope you're doing great. I am doing the best I can in my kitty cats. Ohene Nana says, I made it. Nice to see you here. Aro says, everybody okay? Yes, Kitty is okay. Lumi says, trying to find ascension, she followed the false light. Yes. Black Shin Pack says, it feels like the stakes are getting higher fast. It's very important to make moves right now. Don't go jumping on flimsy pedestals. Yeah. But don't just sit around waiting for the stars to align either. Very true. Very correct. Yessie says, hello, everyone. Hello, Yessie. Please tell your son I have finished watching the latest season of My Hero Academia. I can't say I liked it as much as the previous season because they changed the directors. But I want to know what he thinks. Amy said this. I do this too. Luda says, if you do happen to get a Nintendo system, I think you'd like Breath of the Wild. Oh, okay. I'll think about it. We don't even have a TV, let alone a Nintendo system. But my biggest purchase is my fridge. So, Batwoman of Gotham is rolling around on the floor laughing. Tree Essence says, I love your tier 23 teachings and your guidance check-ins here on YouTube. When the energies feel like electricity running through my veins, your guidance always helps me to come back in alignment and focus. I'm very grateful to hear that. That is why the job is. I am completely uninterested in people who are like, I want to ascend to be the next one. I want this magical power. I want to do that. I want to be able to control things. Bullshit, and good God, please find somebody else if that's what you want, because I am not at all interested in that. My philosophy is very simple. When your heart is aligned and you are walking this earth as a decent human being, every gift you need to do for you to do your job right will come to you naturally. You will not need anything or anyone to give you what you think you're looking for from somebody else. Be a decent human being. That's the one real thing I am interested in helping people do in these very confused times. Because so much of people look at the intensity of spiritual work. They look at the magical powers they think are associated with it. They look at it as some kind of elite cool club, but my God, no, that's not the point. Now, let me tell you something interesting. My next door neighbor, she's this older Chinese lady, Chinese Christian lady. And we've started talking because, it's shitty to do hello neighbor online and not to talk to my actual neighbor, right? So, she buys me food and we're going to buy her some stuff. And that's a kind of a relationship. And my brother accidentally scared her because she got a tomcat and that fellow was crying in the rain. So my brother came out and he's this tall, dark-skinned Indian man with flowing hair and a mustache and a beard. And he's like, what's wrong with the cat? Because he's ready to go and save it. He needed to, but she doesn't know that. So she thought he was really pissed off. So the past few chats I've had with my actual physical neighbor have been mostly calm down, calm down. We just really like cats. We wanted to know if it needed help. So I've been talking to my neighbor, and it's funny. She said, "This house you're in has been abandoned for 5 years. And we were praying for somebody to come. And in fact, there's a lot of like, there's a kind of like an abandoned patch of land to the left of the house. And they've spent years cultivating a garden and a little orchard there. And, it's this old couple. And, I saw that when I came looking at this house, and I saw this neighbor's house, and she had a really large picture of the Byzantine depiction of the Virgin Mary. And I was like, that's it. So it was really Alice who brought me here. And Alice was also saying, yeah, I was praying for someone to come. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. But that's the thing. When good people, she's someone who's worked with kids and disabled people and people who are differently able, I should say. She's done a lot of good for her local communities. And it was just, that's how it happened. That's magic. That's manifestation without the pomp and ceremony and the blah, 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 and the spiritual this and the whatnot. Just people who do shit like tending to a piece of land that other people have abandoned. Making sure that a cat isn't going out stray and homeless, or making, just that's the kind of thing that allows you to see what is God. God as creator, creatrix, call it what you want. That energy of the divine is a verb. It's not something you're going to go and, sit in a cave and find. You want to do a magic show, go to a magic show. But this isn't what we do here. It doesn't matter to me if you can communicate with this person, and that guide, and that archangel, and this deity, and things from 10,000, 20,000 years ago. What are you doing in the here and now? What are you doing for the land that you are on? What are you doing for the person who's living right next to you? Now, I'm not saying that you got to be nice to everybody. Some people are shitty. And some people, unfortunately, have shitty family of origin, narcissistic, toxic viper pits that you have to walk away from to save yourself. I'm not asking you to go against that. I'm not asking you to ignore that. But sometimes it's beyond that, when you can actually just be in a space and connect to people who come from that place of love. Doesn't matter what their race is, doesn't matter what their religion is, doesn't matter what they know or what you think you know. All of that is irrelevant, because when you feel that connection, that's God. That's the only damn thing. That if there's anything I want to help someone find, it is that space of grace. It is that space of love. Because beyond that, everything else is just a sideshow. It's window dressing. And, for those of you who followed me long enough, I certainly was not born with a silver spoon in my mouth. Everything you can imagine a person has had to work for, and even things that other people take for granted, I've had to work very hard for. The spiritual challenges for me to be able to do what I am doing at this age are very, very, very intense, many of which have been life-threatening. But the only thing that has kept me going is that focus. Where is love? Where is the heart? Where is that truth? And as long as you stay on that point, you do not actually need anything else. Like, even when people come to me for like consultations and whatnot, most of the time it's getting them to that space because they've got so much of stuff in their head that they've read or, I was talking to my brother yesterday. I said, I don't really think technology has really, on the grand scheme of things, I don't know if it's really benefited people that much. There are some positives. It's a tool to connect like-minded people all around the world, but there's also a lot of negatives. There's so much of garbage that's been put into our fields. Whether you want to think of it in terms of, food that's been genetically modified in unnatural, in unhealthy ways, or whether it's over-reliance on pharmaceuticals, whether it's environmental pollution, or whether it's just the informational garbage that people get saturated with. That's what we need to cut out and away from. So, me talking to Alice, to this lady who has no idea who I am, does not know anything about what I do. And yet she looks at me and she goes, I see your eyes, I see your smile, and that is enough for me. She doesn't know anything else about me. That's love. It ain't clingy. It's not I die for you, you die for me. It's not subjugation. It's not sacrifice. That's your age of Aquarius, people. That's what it looks like. So when you can find that, whether it's in your home, whether it's in your relationship, whether it's in your job, that's what you need to be looking for. But you've got to say no to all the bullshit that pretends to tell you that's where you're going to find it. Stay aligned, stay focused, be very, very clear with what your destination is. And that destination is a verb. For me, it's always about the heart. It's not about your head. It's not about your gut. It is about your heart. If you can find that space of connection in anything you do, what else do you need from a spiritual perspective? This is why I don't do, guided meditations. And I'm not saying they're bad. Some of them have been very useful for me at certain points. But this is why I just don't have those long-term programs. Because it's about teaching. You know what they say, right? Teach a man to fish or teach a person to fish. They'll feed themselves for life. It's kind of like that. But that being said, I think I went off, maybe not on a tangent, but maybe that was what I wanted to say in the first place. Anywho, let's get back to the comments. Let's see what else the group would like to discuss today. All right. Shirley says hello. Carolee says, how will the age of Aquarius affect Aquarians? Find out, Carolee. Experience it. But what I've talked about is pretty much that energy anyway. Brandon says, you're laughing, smiling, and good energy is raising my frequency. Love your platform and will always respect it. Thank you so much, Brandon. I really appreciate it. Beanie says, hit that like bottom. I know what you're saying, Beanie, but maybe it's a Freudian slip. I'm just saying. Luna says, I saw someone post that we're entering the age of Aquarius this month, but I thought we were already in it. There's some debate on that. Some people say it's about to start. Some people say, it hasn't. Some people say we're already in it. My personal take, and this is my opinion, it's not gospel. I think we are kind of in the overlap between Pisces and Aquarius. We're kind of in that overlap space. I can't say that we're fully out of the old one, and I can't say we're fully into the new one. So transition point would be my take on it. People get very excited of Jupiter started in Aquarius, therefore age of Aquarius has started. No, it takes a lot more to start an age. Yes, he says, lol, I will let Hassan to know I'm asking about his favorite show. That's good. Batwoman says, you are comfort in the storm. Thank you. I'm glad to hear it. Ernst George says, that's exactly what I was thinking. Thank you. Teref says, light work is heavy work. It ain't always pretty, but it's worth it. Agreed. Let's see. Okay. Big Homie L says, with each and every breath, remember the intimate connection with love, the oneness bond. That's right. Jolene says, I appreciate your presence so much, Dr. B. Thank you. Elijah Westfeld says, wow, radiance. Hello, Elijah. How are you doing? Good to see you here. And I Am Energy says, yes, Dr. B, it is simply doing the work, non-judgmental, coming from the love. Exactly. One of the Stray Panther says, thank you for the words of encouragement. You are most welcome. I am very glad that it helps. So one of the things that, my mind looked at this statement. Oh, another Elijah. Hello, Elijah. We have two Elijahs on right now. Luna says, in Toltec, and Luna is an indigenous practitioner, and she's a friend, and we both share a common philosophy about how at the end of the day, I've said this before, so I'm just going to let people refer to a previous Hello Neighbor, but Luna and I understand how at the end of the day, things come to the base. Things come to the bottom of things. That's why Capricorn rules the root chakra. I'm not going to get all scatological right now, but yes, we have that shared understanding. And Luna says we are between the fifth and sixth suns in Toltec Aztec beliefs. I align with that. I completely agree. I think we are in an in-between phase, and anyone who is saying we've started the age is looking at Saturn and Jupiter, and really takes more. It takes a lot more to set off an age. That won't do it. So I would personally, if you ask me how long it's going to take, I'd say there's going to be a definite turning of the wheel in about 7 to 8 years. Some people may think that's too short, but from an astrological perspective, a 7 to 8 year period of more intense transition is what I would say. And the more we adapt, the more we come into alignment with the frequency of the new age, as in the not new age stuff, but the new age of Aquarius that is coming, our lives will also change in response. I mean, I'm just looking at my life 1 year ago and my life now, and there is no connection. You know, I don't even look the same. And, I have I'm not saying my life is great, but it's different. There's the change that has happened. And that's because there's been many painful cuts, many painful culls, many painful situations that I've had to walk away from. You can imagine that for someone who, shall we just say, does the work that I do, there's a lot of things that in my life have tried to pull me onto the wrong path. And some of them have been people and relationships and dreams and things that I really loved. And saying no to all of that has been one of the hardest things of my life, but I don't regret it. Because the energy and the closeness that I feel to the verb that is the divine every day is worth it. But that's me. I'm kind of hardcore, in case you haven't noticed. So let's get back to people. Tracy A says, sending love and appreciation. Disrag Ibrahim says, hi, Dr. B. Hello, Disrag. Tiana says, Dr. B, could the false light energy that's coming up be connected to addiction as well? It can, especially when someone is trying to justify their addiction using the rhetoric of something more lofty, but that depends on the addiction, Sometimes a person could be abusing chemicals or substances, saying that's what makes them spiritual. I'm not saying that there isn't a place for plant medicine in a grounded way, but sometimes people can do that. Sometimes they can justify any kind of abuse or any kind of an imbalance using spiritual terminology. And that's where the two can really intersect. All right. Carolee says, thank you for replying to my question. No worries at all. Elijah says, do you think that this Aquarius age will bring a new spiritual idea for the collective? It seems with every new age, a new idea or spiritual energy emerges on the earth. Yes, it already has. There are some people who have already shifted in that vibration. And there are some people who have not. And really, I have found that the people who have shifted into that vibration is not because they're great spiritual people. A lot of people with many spiritual gifts are very firmly entrenched in the old, because there are old hierarchies of power that give them something. Yes, in fact, this morning, lots of things try to, let's just say I was walking outside and there was this cat, neighborhood cat, and it looked at me and I looked at it. It was about 5 a.m. I was taking out the trash. And both of us just looked at each other wordlessly. And I could feel a certain push, a certain vibration. Because, one of the things that I do is I communicate with animals. And sometimes the voice is very clear. Sometimes it's like an instinct. Sometimes I'll just know. And something was asking me, I want what you have. How do I do it? And it was a very acquisitive energy. It was a very acquisitive energy. And I just said, look, when you have walked as many lives as I have walked, when you have been beaten around and abused as much as I have been abused, and you still don't want revenge, and you can still honestly offer compassion and forgiveness to your enemy, or the person who presents them as an enemy, because honestly, from a spiritual level, that work doesn't even work. Where you can still pray for them and you can still hold your own integrity. What you want will find you. And it walked off. And I'm sure it wasn't the cat, but there was a frequency that was coming through it, because it just stared at me with an eye contact that an animal would not normally make for such a long time. And that was the message that just came out and came through. There are already people who are on this planet walking the frequency of the new age. It is not because they know more. It is because their heart is truly aligned with that source of love. Not a love that's clingy, not a love that's codependent, but a love that is not only a shelter but a sword. So when it needs to be. And those are the people you will find. They're everywhere. Not that common, but they're everywhere. V. Stormfeld Witch says, looks like I might get an apology for sexist pay at an old job. Oh, okay. I'm a trans man and I was in a closet. Okay, fingers crossed they pay me. Fingers crossed. And hopefully you get more than an apology. Solomon says, I came into the live late, but how is it that we discern the energy of false light? This is a good question. I answer this question regularly, and I think it's important to answer this question regularly. When something is still trying to hold you in the frequency of a false spiritual hierarchy, that is false light. When something is trying to convince you that you're on some pedestal somewhere and the light shines out of your bloody butt, that's false light. When something is trying to say, I have the authority, I have the knowledge, I have the power, this is what you must follow, that's false light. False light can sometimes seem very glowy, very luminous, but there is a quality to it that seems artificial. So for people who are sight-based psychics, the more you look at it, the more you'll see it's a glamour. For people who work with touch or sound, the closer you look at it, the closer you will see that there is actually energy being put to make an appearance. There are also false angelics. Not everybody who calls themselves or claims to work with the archangels are necessarily working with the archangels. There are false versions of everything out there. And you really just have to listen and take the time to discern. People who believe in the false light will never want to hear that they're wrong. And when you meet someone who's already been co-opted by it, they will try to push their vibration at you. Even if you're like, I'm sorry, no, I'm moving along. They will try to push, they will try to co-opt your headspace. That's when you know you're working with someone with false light. I once had a very bad experience with a psychic. It was a very bad time, and I had remembered this person from about 5 or 6 years ago. And when I looked at her website, it was filled with stuff which part of me was already like, no, she went down a different path. But I looked at the picture. It was all smiley and sparkly, and I'm like, oh, okay. Maybe I'm being judgmental. But I listened to it, and everything she told me in the first 2 minutes was just completely wrong. And I just said, no, stop. Nothing you've said is actually true. Nothing. So naturally, there's a lot of defensiveness, denial. I said, look, we've already taken this time. Here's half your fee. Send me back the other half. We're done. Thank you, but it's not working for me. But I get this really long letter about how I'm not grounded enough and how I went on the wrong path and how everything will work out for me at this time, which it hasn't, by the way. And she just kept pushing that energy of false narrative at me. And then I really gave it to her. I was very polite. I was like, no, thank you. The service is not working for me. Here's something for your time. Thank you. Goodbye. Finish. Done. But when she responded that way, I then responded. And I just said, number one, this is not respecting my professional boundaries. I have respected you. You need to back off. You're making claims that are not verified, that do not align with my experience. And now you're trying to push a false narrative. Because she couldn't handle my intensity, And so what she saw as my intensity She wanted to interpret as fear. And I said, honey, no, that doesn't work. And it was a lesson to me because I should have just listened to my damn guidance. But that was a time where the human part of me was just like, it could really use a different set of eyes on this point. And I got that set of eyes and I realized it just didn't work. That's when I just pushed back and said very clearly, no, you will not give me a false reading and tell me to believe it. And since then, those energies have been a lot more subtle when trying to deal with me because they know I'm going to draw that line. So that's how I discern and that's how I respond to, the false light energy. Let's see. What do we say here? This rug says, Dr. B, isn't the same the one like to be and the one you don't like to be? Both not is true, is it? I'm going to need more context. Dusty Whistle says, strength to you, we Stormfelt Witch. Much love from the Trans Fam in the chat. The Trans Fam is a group of people that I have a special appreciation for because it takes a lot of courage to be yourself in this world. It takes a lot of courage to be yourself, especially when people cannot handle the gender binary being questioned. Lots of love to all of you and keep being you. Let's see. Oh, who else? Daphne said, hey, glad I didn't miss you. I hope I didn't miss much. Good evening, beautiful soul. Hey, beautiful lady, sending love to you from Cincinnati, Ohio. That was a mouthful. Hi, Daphne. Happy to see you too. I hope you're feeling better. Solomon says, I love that. I've been reminded to live in honesty and unconditional love. Elijah says, thank you. I can definitely say I've noticed it. The energy of the air is a thick polarity. Yes. Dream says, so weird. 2 days ago, Spirit told me, keep your sword sharp. So funny you said that. Wow. Nice confirmation. Solomon says, I've been also feeling a lot of pressure on my temple. Oh, yeah. People who are feeling a lot of pressure on the temples or different parts of their brain, what I want you to do is, and I know this sounds very abstract, but let's just say that your brain is being activated at this time by different frequencies. Like I was talking to my brother, I said, look, it's really, really scary how easily the human brain can be made to do things. Like if someone applies the right electrical pressure at a certain part of the brain, you're going to feel things even though you've got nothing to do with it. So I feel, and this is not scientifically verifiable at all, as far as I know, but I feel that there is almost there's a strange quality to the electromagnetic field at this time. And what I want all of you who have these kinds of headaches, and I do, so I'm talking from experience, not from theory. When you have these kinds of energies or these kinds of issues, it usually is a calibration issue. So you can either work with a facilitator who can help to recalibrate you to the frequency that's coming in now, and some people do that work. Just make sure you don't find a hick or quack, or what's the word? I think quack is the word, not hick. Sorry, quack is the word. Just make sure you find someone who knows what they're doing. Or you can simply just sit with your guides, your deities, whoever you work with, and speak to the one that deals with electricity and say, hey, could you give me an upgrade or recalibrate me in whatever way so that I can adjust to the frequency change in a more graceful way? Ask, and you shall be pleasantly surprised. That's how I would deal with the situation if it is not a biological issue. Okay, so, wow. Who else we got? Christabel says, I thought of you before the live. I'm glad you popped in. Kashmira says, greetings, Dr. B and all here. Just popping in to say hello. Lots of love to you and to you. Lumi says, it's hard to stay alive when there's so many oppressions. Some survive and are resilient, and many more are just crushed and broken down and pass the trauma through generations. But that, my friend, is exactly why you need to be more aligned. For me, a person who is truly aligned cannot ignore the oppression that has shaped the lifeblood of this planet For me, someone who talks about alignment and ignores the reality of so many whose generations have been oppressed is talking out of their butt. But that's just my view. To be aligned is to recognize that oppression and is to recognize that you didn't do it. You can recognize it and you are giving permission for a different frequency to come through. Brandy says, I understand what I've heard you say about practicing another culture's religion or spiritual path. Where can we start safely if we have no pure culture? I would say it's perfectly fine to practice another culture's religion or spirituality. Just be respectful about it. I mean, there are so many people, for example, in North America, there's so many people who are very sincere converts to Hinduism and Sikhism. And they are not like looking on chat groups or social media and whatever and looking at a picture of a god or goddess and dressing up and saying, this is me and I and we are people who actually sit and do the real work. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it as long as you respect it, you know? But I'm assuming, based on your question, I'm assuming that you have European roots. You do have a pure culture. It just is on a different continent in the pagan tradition that people are slowly trying to get back to. So, maybe look at that. Dark Queen says hi. Hello. Okay. Let's see. I Am Energy says, can the first light show up in one streams? Yes. Does Kashmira says, does the same insight on temple pressure apply to headaches and migraines? Yes. Let's see. BB says, waking up. Hello, Dr. B. Hello. Nice to see you. V Storm Feltwich says, wait, you're sure y'all's necks aren't out pressure headaches? That's why I said, if it's not a physical situation or a physical issue, then it's likely to be a spiritual one. And, Storm Feltwich says, has a very, very good point. Sometimes it is literally just you're not stretching enough, or you're holding too much in your neck too rigidly and your head is feeling it. So sometimes this is the case, but collectively, there's a lot of recalibration that's happening at this time. Nacha Libre says, hi, glad to catch you live. Hi. Daphne says, trying to prepare myself for the solar eclipse coming up next week on the 14-15, something like that. Boy, I'm a Gemini rising, 15-15, first house NATO, and boy, I've been seeing and going through some. The Gemini rising comes through. Let's see, Daphne. Well, this is the thing. We're already in it. No matter what you do or don't do, you're still going to experience it. The only thing that I would say at this time is empty the cup, be willing to look at the way you live your life and whether or not that still aligns. You boil it down, that's what it's going to come to. The thoughts that help you shape your belief system, that help you shape your perception as to what's happening in the world, what about that needs to change? Look at that, work with that, keep it simple. Let's see. Now, I think I better wind up. Oh, no, wait. Wind down, wind up, wind down. I think I've probably been winding people up, though. So, winding down. Let's bring this to a close. I've been talking for a while. Janice says, hello, love and hugs. I'm feeling surprisingly grounded, positive, and happy. Good job. Keep at it. But do we have any last questions before I go off and continue working on my Tier 23, which is the membership program, which is where you get even more stuff. In terms of a session, you can go to www.theskypriestess.as.me, which is M-E. So check that out if you want to work with me. But I am basically just going to give you spiritually aligned common sense. Sometimes people's cases are very complex, then I whip out the astrological toolkit, but a lot of the time it's really just coming back into this space. And last but not least, if you would like to make sure that I am materially supported in doing my work, please do send me a contribution at www.paypal.me/theskypriestess. So check it out. Give me a shout if you want to work with me, or maybe send me something because, hey, this is work. So, Big Homie L says, the Sky Priestess is a jewel to this world. Thank you so much. Beings like you are extremely rare and an authentic light anchor guiding us to deep self. My new YouTube page is dedicated to you. Care Bears are real. That's really sweet. Thank you so much. Elijah says, would it be advisable to get a reading on your solar return? Nope. Batwoman says, thank you. Tier 23 is epic. I knew exactly what was happening in my body. Well, thank you so much. I send all of you a lot of love, many, many, many blessings, lots of hugs. Remember, love is a shelter, it is a sanctuary, it is also a sword when it needs to be. So, with that, ciao, ciao for now, and thank you all for participating. Bye.